Welcome to the Fearlessly Fertile Podcast, episode 315. If you keep using this excuse, you will be a fertility failure guaranteed. Hey, my loves, I'm so excited to be back with you this week, and we are zeroing in on a very specific topic that I could go on and on about forever. And it's one of the greatest lies and deceptions that have been perpetrated upon women specifically. I actually believe this has been perpetrated on humanity, but our work here is about women. It's about fertility. It's about you making your dreams come true. And I could not think of better timing to reiterate this point in a different way that perhaps you might be able to hear it from a different angle and in a different way. Because look, by the time this episode comes out, we are going to be barreling straight toward the end of Q1 in 2025. So you remember what feels like 4,000 years ago? When you were making a New Year's resolution, it was December 31st, 2024, and you told yourself it would all be different. Well, it's almost the end of Q1. And if nothing has changed for you, if your actions aren't changing, your thoughts aren't changing, and most importantly, your results aren't changing, you really need to hear what I am going to share with you here. Now, I want to preface this because I'm going to be so direct about this. I want to preface this from the perspective and truth that none of this is judgment. And I understand that your current circumstances may say otherwise, or maybe the decades of familial, social, religious, cultural programming that you have, which I've got nothing against. The question at the end of the day is it actually working for you? Is it actually moving you forward? Because results don't lie. I understand it's going to be running up against that. But I am committed in my professional life to helping you get to a place where your age, the statistics, your diagnosis, your shady fertility past, and how many times you failed becomes irrelevant from this point. Because when those things become irrelevant, you can narrow that amazingly powerful focus of yours onto what actually matters, which is, what do you choose to do now? Part of the reason why women find themselves circling the drain on this journey is they are literally trapped in the past. But one of the things, and frankly ways, that manifests most is in the excuse that I'm going to expose here. I'm sure that there can be a lot of debate about why I zero in on this, but I'm just going to give it to you straight from the horse's mouth. Lack and scarcity is one of the just throat-stomping belief systems that will crush your dreams. It will torpedo your dreams like nothing else. And there are multiple layers to why we live in lack and scarcity. There's so many different influences, reasons. We've been conditioned for decades that being tight-fisted with your money, all this stuff is responsible. When you look at how people are really creating wealth out there, they're not doing what poor people are doing. Okay? No disrespect, but they're doing the exact opposite of what they're telling you to do. All right? So let's reveal this excuse. And again, I know that your reality may feel different, but this is actually true. When you really break down what I'm saying and really look at what I am trying to encourage you to consider, you'll see that it's true. If you continue to use the excuse, I can't afford it, you will virtually guarantee your failure on this journey. Because here's the deal. I can't afford it is really at its core, I'm not worth it. Because what you can afford is just a set of current circumstances. It's basically saying, no, I can't afford it, so I won't afford it. People who really want something are going to go out there and get it. They will do the work. If they have to side hustle, if they have to improve their skill level, if they have to borrow, if they have to work extra hours, they figure it out. There is a wild gulf between people who say, I can't afford it, and people who say, I'm going to figure this shit out. Because you see day in and day out, especially here in the States, people may debate me on this, but whatever. I see it every day. I see entrepreneurial people come here with virtually nothing and turn into masters of empires, like massive success. So no victim story about what you can't afford is going to make this any less true. The reality is, if you want something bad enough, you go and figure it out. But as long as you continue to use that excuse, I can't afford it, AKA I'm not worth it, or I won't do what it takes to afford it, you're stuck. I mean, the same thing happens when it just floors me. And I remember I was there, I get it. But once you see the lie, and once you expose the deception, you can see that, why would you ever let what your insurance covers, what other people think is reasonable to spend or invest in your journey? Why would you ever let those things control you? This is your dream. You want to be a mom. Can you put a price tag on that? Who is going to fucking care about how much money you have in the bank when you get to 75 and you're all fucking alone? Think about that. When the door has closed to your ability to be a mother. I mean, you might be able to, be the nice great aunt to all the people in the neighborhood, but you will not have ever given yourself your all to having this baby because you were living by other people's rules. Just a few weeks ago, we talked about how your rules are all made up. So I wanted to zero in on this thing because this lie, this excuse, I can't afford it, is one of the ways that people just consistently give up on their dream. Instead of being an outlier who figures it out. And people say this all the time. Well, I can't do that. That's reckless. What's my husband going to think? Hey, at the end of the day, look, it's your life. You going to live by somebody else's rules, or are you going to live by your own? Are you going to be the smart woman who decides, you know what? If it was okay for me to invest hundreds of thousands in my education, why the fuck wouldn't I invest hundreds of thousands in my dream of being a mom? People do that shit all the time. Yet nobody gets shamed for that. Or nobody says, well, how many times are you going to do that before you give up? Really? What's all that 401k going to matter? Okay, when you're just alone with your cats, nothing. Do you see the lie? There is so much opportunity out there that being trapped in the lie and the excuse of I can't afford it, it's actually, I'm going to love you enough to say it's pathetic. It's just straight up pathetic. Because I promise you, on a planet of almost 8 billion people, there is a woman out there in far more dire circumstances than you think you're in today who figured it out. And I say that with so much love and respect because I believe that we all have intense potential. I don't believe that we'll ever fully scratch the surface of our potential, but part of the reason why we're here, part of the reason this journey has come into our lives is for us to seize the opportunity to be better, to grow, to expand who we are, to become more. That's why we're here. If all you wanted to live is a beige, boring life, keeping up with the Joneses, doing what everyone else, you're just the walking dead. And when you're trying to call in a baby, think about what the messaging is. When you say, I can't afford it, what you're saying is I'm tapped out as it is. I actually can't afford to have this baby. I'm putting a price tag on what this baby means to me. And most of the time, it's based on your fears about what everyone else is going to think if they hear about your $500,000 baby. Well, here's the thing. When you hold that baby for the first time, you're not thinking about price tags because you will be running through walls for them. I know. Chances are this might piss a few people off, and that's okay. But those are people that are not actually committed to the dream. Go and Google stories of people who came from nothing and created something. We're just doing that in a different way on this journey. And we're challenging social norms. We're challenging the lies we've been told about what's acceptable for us as women to receive, to invest, and the help that we ask for. I can't afford it is really you saying, I'm not willing to afford it. I'm not worth it. I don't want to rock the boat about my own beliefs about money. You care more about being right when it comes to the rules than you care about being an outlier. And if you want to get to the other side of your fertility journey as the best mom you can possibly be, you're going to learn to bend some rules. So I want to encourage you. Okay, this might have gotten your back up a little bit, and that's all right. That's all right. You don't have to agree with me. But when you start to notice how often in a single week, like that's the assignment, just take a look at how often in a single week you talk yourself out of your desires by telling yourself you can't afford it. You're using the same line of I can't afford this, I can't afford that when it comes to calling in your baby. Your baby's not a sports car. Your baby's not a cup of Starbies. It's bullshit. It's the worst kind of lack and scarcity. What you're saying is, baby, there isn't enough. I'm not worth it. You are not worth it. And I hope that gets you right here because that's what you're saying. I can't afford it is I'm not worth it and I won't afford it. And you know what, baby? I don't want you bad enough to figure it out. Because here's the thing. Getting past that excuse is some of the best training we will ever have as mothers. Because as mothers, we have to be resourceful. We can't accept no for an answer. We cannot afford truly to take on the lies and the matrix way of old parenting, saying that mothers are supposed to be this or mothers are supposed to be that. It's all bullshit. It's all lies. It's all made up. So if you want to be the kind of woman that you long to be as a mother, you're going to fucking break rules. You're going to do it fearlessly. You're going to be fertile when everyone else says you can't be. That's the essence of fearlessly fertile. This is fearlessly fertile. And it starts with finally breaking up with the excuse. No longer tolerating the excuse of I can't afford it. You better not. Like, if you're a smart woman, you cannot possibly be entertaining the idea of whether or not your insurance company is going to cover your treatment at all. That is a bonus. And you know what? Between you and me, that whole insurance thing's a scam anyway. All right? Like, there are so many ways to bankroll your fertility that like don't have to be painful, shameful. Like, stop it. Stop putting a price tag on your happiness and instead be the woman who fucking figures it out so that you can finally break the chains and just the confines of lack and scarcity that have no question tortured the women in your family for generations. This gets to end with you. You can make choices from desire, make choices based on abundance, and make choices on the fact that the desire in your heart to be a mom is there because it was meant for you, because the woman that you will meet on the other side of it, that other version of you, the version of you that doesn't give a fuck about the other people's rules and is certainly not going to be confined by them, She's going to be someone that you are so proud of and you would love to have a glass of champagne with. I bet y'all have some incredible things to talk about. Don't keep making that excuse. It's so beneath you, and it will guarantee your fertility failure. Don't do that, mama. And look, if you're ready to finally break out of that garbage, nonsensical excuse, my Fearlessly Fertile Method programs are for women who intend to get pregnant in the next 12 months and say hell yes to covering their bases, mind and body, so they can become the moms they want to be. They don't live by excuses. They live with energy and exhilaration and commitment to their being a mom. We got over 300 episodes of this podcast proving just how much you can do when your mind and body are working together, baby. So go to my website, www.frommaybe2baby.com. I help women all over the world make their mom dreams come true. And it's time that you got your mind and your body working together, baby. No more excuses. Till next time, change your mindset, change your results.
Love this episode of the Fearlessly Fertile podcast? Subscribe now and leave an awesome review. Remember, the desire in your heart to be a mom is there because it was meant for you. When it comes to your dreams, keep saying hell yes.